Let me start with a question that might mess with your head a little. Why does it feel like everyone is grinding, but somehow still broke? Like they're busy all the time, always tired, always stressed, but their bank account never seems to catch up. If hustle culture actually worked the way it's advertised, wouldn't more people be rich by now? Yeah, exactly. Because here's the uncomfortable truth I had to learn the hard way. Hustle culture doesn't make most people richer. It makes them burnt out, distracted, and worse with money. And if you're a student or young adult trying to get ahead, this might be the most important thing you hear all week. For the longest time, I thought the solution was simple. Work more, sleep less, say yes to everything. If I wasn't exhausted, I felt guilty. If I rested, I felt behind. I thought that's what ambition looked like. But all it really gave me was brain fog, bad decisions, impulse spending, and zero energy to think long-term, which is ironic because thinking long-term is how you actually build wealth. Here's the part no one tells you. Hustle culture trains you to optimize effort, not results. It rewards being busy, looking productive, doing a lot, not choosing the right things, protecting your energy, and building leverage. So you end up doing more for less. And when you're tired all the time, you make expensive decisions. Think about it. When you're tired, what happens? You order food instead of cooking. You Uber instead of walking. You buy little treats to survive the week. You say yes to low-paying work because you're too tired to look for better options. None of that makes you weak. It makes you human. But hustle culture pretends humans are machines. Here's a pattern I noticed in my own life. The harder I tried to hustle, the worse my money habits got. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't have the mental space to care. I was always in reaction mode, chasing deadlines, chasing notifications, chasing the next thing. And when you're always chasing, you never get to design your life. That's when I realized something important. Being busy is not the same as building wealth. Here's the first shift that changed everything for me. I stopped asking, how can I do more, and started asking, what actually moves the needle? Because income doesn't come from effort alone, it comes from direction. One focused skill beats 10 random hustles. One high-leverage habit beats 100 tired hours. And once I stopped glorifying exhaustion, I started seeing opportunities I was too tired to notice before. Let's talk about the biggest lie hustle culture sells. If you want it bad enough, you'll sacrifice everything. Sounds cool, looks intense, gets likes, but sacrificing sleep, health, and clarity doesn't make you committed. It makes you short-sighted. You can't plan, you can't learn properly, you can't think strategically, and money rewards strategy way more than suffering. Here's what actually helped me build momentum. I replaced hustle with systems. Instead of working longer, I worked clearer. Instead of chasing 10 things, I picked one skill and went deep. Instead of saying yes to everything, I protected my energy like it was part of my job. Because it is. Your energy is your most valuable asset, not your hours. Here's a simple example. When I was burnt out, I'd scroll job boards mindlessly and apply to everything. Now, I spend less time but apply intentionally. Higher quality work, higher quality pay, less stress. Same person, different system. Another big shift, I stopped confusing looking ambitious with being effective. Posting about the grind doesn't pay you. Working all night doesn't guarantee progress. Being tired isn't proof you're doing the right thing. Results are quiet. Stability doesn't flex. Wealth grows in boring ways, and that's okay. If you're a student, listen to this part closely. You don't need to do everything right now. You don't need 5 side hustles. You don't need to monetize every hobby. You don't need to be productive every waking hour. What you need is one useful skill, consistent practice, and enough rest to think clearly. That combo beats hustle every time. Here's something I wish someone told me earlier. Rest isn't a reward for success. It's a requirement for smart decisions. When you're rested, you learn faster. You say no more easily. You see long-term patterns.
which means you stop leaking money through stress. So if hustle culture has been making you feel behind, guilty, or like you're not doing enough, take a breath. You're not lazy. You're probably just tired. And tired people don't build wealth. Clear people do. Let's bring this home. Hustle culture makes you poorer by draining your energy, pushing short-term thinking, encouraging busy work, and rewarding exhaustion over strategy. Wealth grows from focus, leverage, systems, and sustainability, not burnout. Here's your simple challenge for tonight. Pick one thing you can stop doing that's draining you without paying you back. One unnecessary task, one fake hustle, one obligation that isn't moving you forward. Create space, because space is where clarity shows up, and clarity is expensive, in a good way. We don't need to grind harder, we need to think better. Let's level up together.